Imagine a life where you are no longer burdened by fear, regret, or the constant need for approval. A life where your happiness doesn't depend on the things or people around you. This is the freedom that comes from detachment. In our pursuit of happiness, we often cling to what we think will bring us peace. Yet it is the very act of attachment that keeps us trapped in a cycle of suffering. But what if there's another way? A way to release our grip on the fleeting, to embrace the present moment, and to find true freedom. Today, we'll explore the powerful wisdom of Buddhism and how letting go of attachment can unlock a life filled with peace, clarity, and profound inner freedom. Attachment, in the Buddhist sense, is a deep emotional connection or craving for something we believe we need to be happy. But attachment, Buddha taught us, is the root of all suffering. It creates a cycle of desire, clinging, and disappointment as we begin to believe that our happiness depends on things outside of us. As the Buddha once said, attachment is the origin, the root of suffering, hence it is the cause of suffering. When we become attached to something, whether it's people, possessions, or expectations, our happiness becomes fragile, dependent on external circumstances, and when these things inevitably change, we suffer. One of the core teachings of Buddhism is impermanence, or Anicca. Everything in life is in a constant state of change. The people we love, the possessions we hold dear, the achievements we chase, all of them are temporary. But our attachments are often born out of the illusion that these things will last forever. We mistakenly believe that clinging to them will ensure our happiness, but as Buddha teaches, everything is fleeting. All conditioned things are impermanent. When one sees this with wisdom, one turns away from suffering. The reality is, attachment to impermanent things only leads to suffering when they inevitably fade or change. Our attachment also stems from a deep desire to control life. We want to control the people around us, dictate the course of our careers, and plan out every detail of our future. But no matter how hard we try, we cannot control everything. Life flows like a river, and we can only navigate with it, not against it. Buddha's wisdom guides us to surrender the need for control, to release our grip on the illusion of certainty. The root of all suffering is attachment to control. When we surrender our need to control outcomes, we make space for peace and clarity. Detachment in Buddhism is not about rejecting life or becoming indifferent. It's about letting go of the attachment to the outcome and embracing the present moment. When we practice detachment, we are not giving up on life. We are freeing ourselves from the chains of attachment and the suffering it brings. True detachment means releasing our hold on desires and expectations. It allows us to live with a peaceful heart, unshaken by the fluctuations of life. Buddha himself achieved enlightenment through detachment, freedom from the illusion of permanence and control. You might be wondering, how can we practice non-attachment in our busy, demanding lives? It starts with mindfulness. By becoming aware of our desires, our attachments, and the subtle ways they control us, we can start to loosen their grip. Through meditation, we can cultivate the awareness needed to observe our thoughts and emotions without being consumed by them. When we let go of our attachment to specific outcomes or people, we open ourselves to a deeper peace. Remember, detachment isn't about not caring. It's about caring without attachment. It's about accepting things as they are, without trying to change or control them. When we let go of attachment, we find true freedom, not from external things, but from the internal suffering that attachment creates. Buddha taught us that true peace comes not from outside circumstances, but from within. When we are not attached to outcomes, we can experience life as it is, free from the burden of desire. As the Buddha said, you only lose what you cling to. In letting go of our attachments, we find the freedom to be present and to experience life fully without fear of loss or change. In a world that constantly pulls us in different directions, detachment offers us a path to true peace and freedom. When we release our attachments, we discover that happiness doesn't depend on anything external. It comes from within. We can be free in the present moment, and in that freedom, we find joy, peace, and clarity. Take a moment today to reflect on the attachments in your life. Where are you holding on too tightly? What might you need to let go of to find true freedom? If you found this insight helpful, subscribe to the channel for more wisdom on living a life of peace and clarity.